hearts with praise.
Give thanks to him and call upon his name.
For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting,
And his faithfulness endures from age to age.
The first reading is from the second chapter of Ephesians, beginning with the 19th verse. So then, you Gentiles are not foreigners or strangers any longer. You are now fellow citizens with God's people and members of the family of God. You too are built upon the foundation laid by the apostles and prophets, the cornerstone being Christ Jesus himself. He is the one who holds the whole building together and makes it grow into a sacred temple dedicated to the Lord. In union with him, you too are being built together with all the others into a place where God lives through the Spirit. Here ends the first reading.
The second reading is in the 3rd chapter of 1 Corinthians, beginning at the 10th verse. Using the gift that God gave me, I did the work of an expert builder and laid the foundation, and another man is building on it. But each one must be careful how he builds. For God has already placed Jesus Christ as the one and only foundation, and no other foundation can be laid. Some will use gold or silver or precious stones in building on the foundation. Others will use wood or grass or straw. And the quality of each person's work will be seen when the day of Christ exposes it. For on that day, fire will reveal everyone's work, and the fire will test it and show its real quality. If what was built on the foundation survives the fire, the builder will receive his reward. Here ends the second reading.
This is a great day for rejoicing for us because we are approaching a time that we've waited for over a year in anticipation, the groundbreaking for our Lutherhaus. We thank you so much for your presence here to share in this occasion with us. I would like to make several announcements regarding the procedure as we exit the service today to go to the site for the groundbreaking. Following the choirs and the clergy, if we would exit by the front pews and each pew thereafter until we go out to the site for the groundbreaking. The offering this afternoon, you have an envelope in the bulletin, will go to Lutherhaus for the expenses that are related to the community room, for which there is no provision in the grant, and for other startup funds. So we ask that you will keep that in mind and declare your path. And following the groundbreaking this afternoon, you're invited to the fellowship hall, the basement area. We can go right down the driveway and in on the ground level for some refreshment. Elsie Deaton has been in charge of this, and she asked us to bring about 100 dozen cookies. So all of you have got about a dozen cookies to eat apiece. One of the men who has been a prime mover in this project. Now I'd like to say from the beginning that this is a lay movement in the life of our congregation. The president of our board, Mr. Orrin Klein, has worked overtime to help to bring us to this point. And we are certainly most appreciative of the leadership that you have provided for us, Orrin. So we invite you to come forward at this time.
Thank you, Pastor Bill Holland. This is indeed a great day for the directors of Lutherhaus. And we're grateful to you for coming here to help us make it a great day. This is a day that we've looked forward to really for 18 months. Lutherhaus came about as a result of a St. Andrew's Council workshop in January of 1979. We were seeking ways to better serve the community as Christians. And we asked Charles Hahn, the chairman of the Social Ministry Committee, to see what he could learn and bring back to us at our February meeting of Church Council. Charles works quietly, but he works very hard and effectively. He brought with him to that meeting Barbara Baker, Freeman now, who is a representative of the Western Piedmont Council of Government. Barbara told us about the HUD 202 program, whereby funds are made available for lending to nonprofit corporations for the purpose of building housing for persons 62 and older and handicapped. She said the money was available at favorable interest rates, repayable over a period of 40 years. She told us that we would need some money to put in escrow and that we would need some land. We felt that the hand of God was at work here because not too many years before we had purchased the land next to the church from the Masonic Lodge. And one of our former members, who's now deceased, left in her will $13,000 to St. Andrews, Mrs. Frank Mary Gray. And she told us about Koinonia in Lenore, an 88-unit housing project like this, and invited us to go up and see it. And we went, and we were delighted. It is beautiful. Pat Hodges, the manager there, and the Reverend Parker Williamson gave us all the information and the encouragement they could. We saw so many happy residents there that we were on cloud nine. We had the money to start with, but we did not have enough land. And Lenore Ryan had some land adjoining. And we are deeply grateful to Dr. Albert Anderson and the trustees of Lenore Ryan for agreeing to let us have some land so that we could qualify for the loan. We took action to to enter into the project, and we hired Barbara Baker as the consultant, Bob Mullinax as the attorney, and Robert Clark as the architect. We are borrowing $1,331,000 to be paid back at 8.5%. Now, we do not look upon this as a government project. We merely borrowed or are borrowing the money from the government. But this is a Lutherhaus project and will be run as a Lutherhaus project. The sponsors are St. Andrew's Congregation, Bethany Congregation, and the North Carolina Lutheran Homes. Now, these three sponsoring units merely started this corporation. They are not responsible for its debts or its operation. The Board of Trustees of Lutherhaus bear that responsibility. The board will be elected from the membership of these three sponsors, however. Lutherhaus is an individual, it's a corporation, and it is strictly an individual, just like these other entities. We certainly hope to run it on a sound business basis, and since it is not a Senate project or an LCA project, there will be no organized drives that way. But we will be so happy to have any contributions we can get, and we promise that they will be put to good use. We feel that there's so much to do for others and so much to do for the community here. I believe that we'll see that the residents here, just as they are in Lenore, Koinonia, will be the kind of residents that you and I would like to have as our next door neighbors. There will be 3 buildings totaling 50 apartment units, each apartment containing a little over 700 square feet plus a nice balcony. Applications will be available soon, and the admissions committee will be appointed pretty soon. In the meantime, information can be obtained from the church office at St. Andrews or Bethany. We expect completion to be around July of 1981. I want to introduce to you the board of directors of Lutherhaus at this time. They are responsible for you being here. Mr. Glenn Schoaf is vice chairman, and if you feel like applauding, please hold it till the entire group has been introduced. Mr. Charles Hahn is secretary, and he is the daddy of the project, a very quiet daddy. Mr. Marvin Newton is the treasurer. Mr. H.D. Fry, Mr. Herschel Fry, Mr. Russell Fry, Mrs. Elsie Deaton, our punch and cookie girl today. We couldn't do without Elsie. And we know what her food is like. Mr. Isaac Kuhn, Mr. Joe Moritz, Dr. Bill Schwarzbeck, the Reverend Robert Q. Beard, and the pastors representing St. Andrews, the Reverends Jeff Lingle and Bill Milholland, and representing Bethany, the Reverends Leo Smith and Boyce Whiten. They join me in thanking you for coming today. And now we have special guests, a lot of them, and I know that I'm going to miss some guests that I'd like to introduce, but I have no way of knowing who's here. The Reverend Dr. Ernest Meisenheimer, Bishop of the North Carolina Synod. Dr. Meisenheimer, would you like to say something to us?
The North Carolina Synod is very proud of what is happening here today in this groundbreaking service, and I'm happy to be a participant in it with all of you. This is another first for us. I believe that many other congregations in our Synod will follow with great interest Lutherhaus and its ministry, and others may copy what you are beginning with this groundbreaking service today. Certainly, St. Andrews, Bethany, North Carolina Lutheran Homes are pace setters in this venture that can spread throughout our Synod. I want you to know that I received 3 invitations to be sure to be here today. One from St. Andrews, one from Bethany, one from North Carolina Lutheran Homes, all first-class made. That just shows you the great interest that these 3 participants have in this Lutherhaus ministry. And that's great to start out with that enthusiasm and joy, because they're saying, won't you come and see what we're going to begin here today and be a part of it with us. The other day, I got a letter from a friend of mine in a nursing home. And the last sentence in that letter really made me stop and think. She said, the church is too busy with things that don't really matter to pay any attention to me. And that was pitiful. The church is busy with many things today, but we must learn to put them in order of priority. People are our business, our first priority. And so this is an indication of our desire to render a ministry to senior citizens who may live in this home. The older citizens who, with facilities like you are providing, can get along without institutional care, need the help of our churches in this sort of ministry. So may God strengthen your hands for this good work that you're beginning today in this groundbreaking service, and may it spread throughout our Synod. That is my prayer for all of us as we break ground for Lutherhaus today.
Thank you, Bishop Meisenheimer. Next, the Honorable George Murphy, Mayor of the City of Hickory. The Would you like to say anything to us at this time? We're glad you're here. I saw John Grubbs back there, a member of the city council. Are there other council members here? Are there representatives of the Catawba County Commission here? Barbara Baker, our consultant. Barbara, where are you? And her husband, Larry. Barbara Baker, Freeman, and Larry. Thank you for coming. Bob Mullinax, our attorney. In the back. Thank you, Bob. And Robert Clark and Camilla, our architect. Charles Moss, representing the builder, Hickory Construction Company. Charles. Pat Hodges, Conan Neal. Pat, thank you for coming. We'll invite you down as you did us. Reverend Parker Williams, is he here? I saw Dr. Marshall Agner back there. Dr. Agner, thanks for coming. President of the Board of Trustees of North Carolina Lutherhaus. And the Mary Gray family. I don't know if there's a representative here or not. They live in Tennessee. If so, I'd like for him or her to stand. Without her generous bequest, I'm not sure this could have been done. So many people have helped here that it's hard to recognize all the wonderful people that one would like to recognize. And now, one who also was very influential in making us strong enough to do this, Reverend Dr. Albert Anderson, president of the Orion College. Dr. Anderson.
Thank you, Alan. Dr. Whitehead, pastors in attendance,